Hello, and welcome to Topper Machine. I'm Josh Topper. So today we're going to head out to the toy shed, where I have my A.D. Baker Steam Traction Engine stored for the winter. One of the projects that I need to do this year is to get all of my piping redone. And so I ordered up brand new Schedule 80 pipe. We're going to actually bend some of that pipe to get it underneath the cannon bearing, and we're going to come across, down and under, and then we're going to mount the injectors in a different location, because the way they are on there, I don't like it. It's just not user friendly. So I want to get my injectors in a good location. So let's head out there, and I'll give you a walk around to the baker, and we'll come back in the shop and cut our pipe and start bending. So here is my A.D. Baker Steam Traction Engine. This is considered a 2175, but the story of this engine is a little complex. The engine itself is a 1917. Now, in 1917, they were using the older boiler, running 140 psi, and it was considered an 18 horse at that time. This is a newer boiler. This is boiler number 16277 is the number that I've heard numerous places. I haven't seen the number stamped anywhere yet. I'm still looking for it to confirm that. But this is a later boiler, so 180 psi, which the state, my initial inspection, the paperwork all says 180 psi. So I'm getting 180 in Wisconsin. We got 2 more inspections coming up this spring to be fully certified in Wisconsin. Got to do the hydro and then the operational, and that's kind of what we're working on today. But I want to talk a little more about the history of this engine. The engine, the wheels, everything, that's 1917, number 1391. Now, boiler being 16277 is the later boiler. 1391 was an 18 horse. At 140 psi, it was considered 18 horse. When they bumped them to 180, they became the 21 horse. So this is, now if I run a 180, I'm a 21 horse engine, which is great. The boiler itself, the firebox in the 60s, the bottom of the firebox had been cut off, and some amusement park, is the story I've heard, started converting it to a dry bottom for a steam locomotive for their park. And they ran out of money, ran out of interest, I don't know. This is the story I've heard. I don't know if it's true. But this engine was completely rebuilt in 2010 by Jonas Stutzman and put together, so the older engine was put on this boiler, so I'm assuming 1391's original boiler was just shot. And somebody found 16277 and kind of put them all together. Still a great piece, very unique, got a lot of history, and if any of you know the real story of this engine, I would love to hear it. I would love to hear more. It's just things I've heard along the way. Pastor Tom Olson, who writes an article in Iron Age magazine as the country preacher, he's filled me in some on this engine. He's run this engine in Ohio. And when it came up for sale, I got a hold of him right away and asked him some questions. So pretty neat history on it that I've been dealing with. But if you know any more, I'd love to hear it. So I've been working on a little bit of stuff here and there. The 2-inch Pickering governor has been completely rebuilt in the shop, and I have a spare one that I'm going to be rebuilding eventually here. The lubricator has been gone through and rebuilt, works excellent. I'm running a double feed. The throttle valve has been completely rebuilt, and I'm going to have to touch up my paint a little bit here and there, but I got some things to do yet, obviously. Never ends with a steam engine. So here is the original piping, and we're going to redo all that. And the injectors used to be mounted up here where this valve is on the canopy bracket. and I didn't like it. It was just inconvenient. So I'm going to move all that back behind the back head and next to the rear wheel, just in a little better location to work. Alright, so just back in the shop here, we need an 8-foot and an 8'6" pipe. It looks like the longer pipe, which will be the one that comes out of the side of the boiler, drops down and under the other one, doesn't need a bend. It looks like it'll clear. But the 8-foot pipe, which is the feed into the boiler a little bit further back, that one's going to need a little bend, about a 3-inch drop. So we're just going to do that with 45s. And just a nice slope underneath, and I'm just going to cut them that length. I got to get more fittings and stuff and change out all the fittings there, and then once I get everything kind of laid out how I want it, then I'll cut the pipes off at the exact length and thread them to fit. So I'm going to hand thread them. I've got hand threaders and they work just fine. So I'm going to just get them to where I need them, and then I'll work on assembling the complete injector assembly just off of that. We're going to have to build a stand up off the deck. Be like a complete pipe bracket. Pretty simple, straightforward, but easy to work with, easy to get at. Okay, so here's our pipe bender. I bought one of these Harbor Freight cheap 12-ton hydraulic pipe benders just for this project. The only thing I needed it for. And I've tried a few test bends, and I'm actually impressed with it. It seems to work pretty good for the money. It seems to do a good job. And comes with all these dies: half, 3/4, 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, and 2-inch. Now, I only need the 3/4, and like I said, I bought it just to do this project, nothing else. So anything beyond this will be a bonus. And let's get the pipe up there, and we're just going to bend at 5 foot. We're just going to try to bend a 45 and then bend another 45 back and do about a 3-inch drop. Now, the thing with bending pipe for steam service, and this is what my inspector outright told me, has to be bent over a mandrel. He said he's condemned engines for piping before where you could tell they heated it with a torch and did all that stuff. So bend it over a mandrel, which is one of these. And you can see it doesn't crush the pipe. We get in there real close. Just works pretty good. So surprisingly, this Central Machinery 12-ton pipe bender works very well for this. And this is all we really needed. So I mean, this will come off the boiler, and that's just the clearance I need to get underneath the cannon bearing, just to get back behind the boiler, so I can put my injectors back there out of the way. So there you have it. I mean, pretty simple. This is just where I'm going to leave off today, because I feel I gave you a little bit of history on the engine and kind of showed how the pipe bender worked. And coming up, I got to order a bunch of fittings and stuff, but coming up we'll probably get working on that start doing the piping on there, but I wanted to get that first piece of pipe cut and out of my way, because I've been tripping them on them on the floor here for about 3 months, and it's just time to get them out of the shop and out of the way. So, until next time, like us on Facebook at Machine LLC. You can visit our website, www.toppermachine.com, and like our videos and subscribe. Stay with us and see what's next. See what we've done, see what's next. There's going to be lots of fun stuff coming up. So, until next time, get out in the shop and get it done right the first time.